So Brett Kavanaugh, he was a Trump-appointed Supreme Court justice.
Yes.
So when you look at education, Yale University, but beyond that, his early life at an elite boarding school. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at it right here, Georgetown Prep. There's some connection with Neil Gorsuch, though.
He also went to Georgetown Prep.
There you go.
Yes.
So that's the diving board. So can we talk for a minute? Georgetown Prep, these schools,
yeah,
they're created, they're designed, who attends them,
yeah,
how they're used, to.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say they started like, come here and you'll become a Supreme Court, but like,
yeah.
What?
This was the question in my current study, which is about elite all-boys schools, these places, which there hasn't been a lot of research done about them. Donald Trump also went to elite all-boys school. The Federal Reserve chairman went to elite all-boys school. It goes on and on and on. Senators, congressmen, et cetera. And what's interesting is that, like in Australia and the UK, these all-boys schools, elite all-boys schools, it's well known that, the prime ministers and the power in which they're producing. But in the United States, we have ignored them. We've ignored that they are really the training grounds for producing leaders who dominate American life. And they dominate American life in a particular way. And that's what I was interested to try to understand, how these kind of all-boys schools were kind of preparing their students, maybe in similar and different ways as they as co-ed elite schools. And what I did discover is that they're producing different kinds of elites, and ones that are very traditional, ones that prescribe and are committed to kind of traditional values, conservatism, et cetera. I mean, the Wall Street Journal, which is not the most liberal publication, even identifies Georgetown Prep as a pipeline for the GOP, for the Republican Party.
Okay.
And we don't pay attention to these places.
Sure.
And not only the general public, but we as researchers who study elite schools, we haven't really looked at all male spaces. Sure. And part of the reason is that we don't mistakenly consider them as powerful and as elite as they actually are, because part of elite status, in order to have elite status, you must remain relevant. So that means that you must kind of change with society and so forth. So these places are viewed by scholars, mistakenly, as not being so relevant because they haven't changed. When so many elite schools went to co-ed, for example, these places stayed single sex, stayed committed to that. And so we just ignore the fact that the two top schools, private schools in the entire country that send the most students to Ivy League schools are both all-boys schools. The two oldest schools in the entire country are also all-boys schools, Collegiate School and Roxbury Latin School. We just don't pay attention. I mean, we should be asking questions like, how do they send collegiate 40-some% of their students to Ivy League schools year after year after year, and no one pays attention to that school?